Welcome to the Blind Justice Podcast, where you discover the insider secrets of injury and accident cases, and all of your law questions get answered. Now, here's your host, Chicago injury lawyer, Scott DeSalvo.
Hey everybody, Chicago, Illinois personal injury attorney Scott DeSalvo here with my star of stage, screen, film, digital, soapbox, singing in her mirror into her comb.
Print model.
Yes, and the apple of her parents' eyes.
Wow, that is the highest compliment / best intro I think you've ever given me. I'm going to write that down.
Amelia Finnefrock.
Amelia Finnefrock.
So you're going to be like a boxer with all these names.
I wish. Actually, I want to take up boxing.
You do?
I feel like
it would be good for you.
It would be good for me. Also, I've always wanted to be like, yeah, I fight. You know, like a fighter. No big deal. Like if someone were to be like, hey, I'm going to take all your money. I'd be like, oh, guess again. And then I whip out my fists.
Pal.
And he's like, I was not expecting that. And I was like, bet you weren't. And then I, pow.
Guess again, Buster.
Hot dog. If you don't know what I'm talking about, listen to our last podcast.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure that's the correct usage for the exclamation hot dog. But anyway.
It's funny how different phrases mean different things. Like so my one roommate, she is a teacher at CPS and she teaches for a bunch of like high school kids, and they keep saying bogus, but they use it like that's so bogus, like it's like awesome, and like my understanding of bogus is like that's BS,
right?
But now it means awesome.
Wow,
that was interesting. Words change.
That may be the sign of the apocalypse when words have their opposite meaning.
Yeah, that sounds like that's too much to keep up. Thank God for Urban Dictionary, though. Am I right?
Yes, I bogus you a lot as a podcast host.
I awesome you a lot. Or you BS me a lot. Probably the latter.
Hootenanny.
Hot dog! Anyway, why are we here again?
I don't know. We're here to talk again, answer questions about injury cases people have. So obviously, everybody knows I'm a Chicago personal injury lawyer, and
the best.
I don't know. I'm not going to say that.
You're like, stop it, don't. I
don't even like any
Scott's, he's awesome.
All right, let's stop fighting. We'll just listen. We'll call a truce.
We'll call a hot dog. We'll move on.
We'll call a hot dog. Now I'm hungry.
How many times can I say hot dog?
We might have to suspend the podcast so I can have a snack.
Yeah. Oh God, hot dog sounds really good.
Dude, I haven't had a hot dog in a long time.
Me too.
But if you go to a really good place, a good hot dog is awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't choose to have a hot dog every day of my life, but I feel like when that feeling hits, I'm like, I need 4 hot dogs, like right now.
Wow. If they're good. Wow, Amelia. That's filthy. There goes our PG-13 rating. You slid right into R. So kids, if you're under 17, turn off the podcast, because evidently Amelia has a potty mouth.
Oh, man.
Thanks for listening.
Need a moment.
So today we're answering a question about somebody who fell. They had a fall down at a store, premises liability case. So, Amelia, if you are ready, please take it away.
Yep, I'm ready. Totally ready. I have a question for the Chicago auto accident lawyers. I was driving home from my daughter's birthday
You're reading
party.
the wrong one.
Oh.
You better read this one.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
First she uses potty language, then I introduce the question as a fall down, and then she starts reading the car crash one.
I was so on a high from laughing about hot dogs and PJ-13 ratings.
I'm so upset now.
I'm here now. All right.
The whole podcast is ruined.
and we're back.
I'm kidding. Thank you, Amelia. I'm sorry.
I'll never forgive you, but it's okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
You would join a long list of women who will never forgive me. My tales of woe. Where's the sad trombones?
That's another podcast.
I need a sad. Yeah, this is all I have. I don't have the sad trombones.
Sad clown noise.
If we wanted to meditate, we could do some of this. Welcome to Scott's meditation hour.
I fell in a grocery store. I was so embarrassed.
Well, he fell in a grocery store, but he doesn't really seem upset about it. Like, he seems totally cool with it.
He's flying pretty high.
All right, enough with the hootin', Annie. Read the question, lady.
Goodness, seriously. Okay. I fell in a grocery store. Is that right? Okay. I fell in a grocery store, and I was so embarrassed. I was pushing a shopping cart in the frozen food aisle. All of a sudden, my feet slipped out from underneath me. I tried to hang onto the shopping cart, but I fell backwards, right on my behind. It hurt so bad, I saw stars. I've had a bad back for a number of years, and it started when I had a very serious car accident about 12 years ago. They told me I needed surgery, but I never did it because they said the risks include being paralyzed. My friend said it didn't make sense to do a case because my back was already bad, but I saw your videos on YouTube, so I thought I would send you a question. What do you think? Should I try and do a case?
Okay, so common question. I think we may have addressed this somewhat in a podcast before, but it bears repeating. A lot of people think if you already have a bad back or a bad neck or a bad shoulder, bad knee, and then it gets worse from some sort of accident or injury,
right,
that they have no chance. Like, they're going to lose the case, they're stuck, it was bad anyway.
I would also assume that.
Right,
not knowing anything about it, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. So lawyers call that a pre-existing condition. Mm-hmm. And so the way it works is, under Illinois law, they cannot penalize you for having a pre-existing condition. Mm-hmm. So in other words, let's say your back is, on an average day, you have 1 or 2 pain. On a really bad day, you have a 3 or 4 pain. But you live with it. Right. You're not really doing anything for it. And then you have a slip and fall, and now you have an everyday pain of 3 or 4 and a bad day of 5 or 6. No. Well, yes, you can make a claim for the change in your medical condition. Yeah. In other words, they made you worse. Now, the key here is proving in a way that's like objective and sort of, what do you call it, credible. Right? Like, anybody can get on the witness stand and, ma'am, is your back worse ever since the fall at the grocery store? Yes, it's much worse. Thank you. We would like $1 million. Case closed. No, I mean, a jury's going to listen to that and say, well, what do you mean it's worse, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you were sitting on a jury and somebody said, yes, I've had a bad back, you get a little bit of credit for being honest.
Right.
Instead of hiding it.
No.
But if you're sitting on the jury and you're deciding, is it legit and what's it worth, you're going to want to know exactly what was it like before, what was it like after.
Right.
You're going to want to hear from the doctors. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to see if the X-ray or the MRI of the body part is different before and after. Right? So there's like a host of things that a lawyer can do for you in a case like this. So of any kind of case, if you have a pre-existing condition and you're really suffering, especially here where this person previously was told they need a surgery, this is absolutely the kind of case where they need to get a lawyer involved right away.
Yeah.
Like, there's a million things I can do in a case like this to give the injured person their best chance of recovery. But I can't do it if the case comes to me last minute, right?
No.
So, yeah, I mean, X-rays and MRIs are really the gold standard. If you
can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you get really lucky, it shows like, okay, there's a herniation at L4, L5, and there is a disc bulge at L3, L4 in the lower back. But then after the fall, there's 3 levels of the lumbar spine with herniations, right? I mean, if that's what you have, it's a very strong case.
Yes. Not
to say that if you don't have that, the case is impossible to prove, but it's hard to argue with an objective study like that.
Right.
So I will say this generally because it does come up, right? So sometimes people think they have something in their background. And so here we're talking about pre-existing conditions. You know, somebody's got some mileage on the odometer. And I remember when I was a brand new lawyer, some of the places I worked early on, we were getting cases referred from another lawyer. And I think he was just a big advertiser. So he would sign up a bunch of cases and send my boss a bunch of cases. And this guy would, and I know this for a fact because I prepped clients that he was representing. He would actually prep clients to hide information or not bring up old injuries or old accidents and things like that. And So there's two parts to this, right? So it's really, really true that no matter what is in your background, even if you have a felony conviction, even if you have, you passed a bad check, or, you have a serious, you had a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction problem in your past,
right,
or some kind of emotional or psychiatric problem, or like we have in this case, a pre-existing physical condition. These are things that, like, at first glance, if you could write the case the way you wanted it, would these things be true? Maybe not, right? But it's humans. You're a human being. Things get complicated.
Exactly.
And my point is, for two reasons, you have to be honest with me,
yes,
right? The first one is, I am not an ambulance chasing fraud. I'm a legitimate attorney. Yes. I take what I do very seriously. Mm-hmm. I take my clients' injuries and right to recovery very seriously. Yep. So I don't lie. I don't lie to my opponents. I don't lie to the judge. I don't lie to my clients. I don't lie to anybody.
Right.
And I insist that my clients be honest with me too.
Of course.
But this is what I'm going to tell you. I've been doing this for 20 years. There is not a single problem or challenge in a case that I can't address and fix, or at least try to fix, or at least try and prove if I know about it.
Yeah.
But if I don't know about it, we end up being ambushed by a defense attorney at trial, and it kills the case.
Right.
So when it comes to a pre-existing physical condition, first of all, anybody on the wrong side of 35 or 40, I guarantee they have physical pre-existing conditions. Guaranteed, right? So it's something everybody has. But if I know about it, I know exactly how to position it in the case. I know exactly what to ask the doctors, so that when the jury hears about it, they're not going to be concerned about it.
The more information, the better. The more transparent someone can be.
Yeah,
the stronger their case.
Yeah, I mean, there's an attorney-client privilege between me and an injured person when I represent them. Mm-hmm. So everything they tell me is private between us anyway.
Right.
So that's I would say, if you're in the frozen food aisle and you slip on water or something, it probably means one of the freezers was leaking. I've had a lot of cases like this.
Oh,
fall down cases. Yeah, fall down cases are a little bit difficult to prove, but a slip and fall in the frozen food aisle, what's water doing on the ground there? Right. And normally they know that the freezer's leaking.
They didn't address it.
Right. And so it's probably a case, and I would say definitely talk to a lawyer if you haven't already, because you're going to want an attorney on your side to position these facts that, if a jury just hears them the wrong way, they're going to think it's a bad fact. But if you address it the right way with the judge and the jury and the doctors, it's actually not that big a deal if you handle it the right way.
Right.
But you can't handle it the right way without a lawyer who knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Or she.
Yeah.
He or she.
The only thing I keep thinking about right now is, like, you can't handle the truth.
Right. That's true.
But you can, though. Scott DeSalvo
I should get that sound effect on
here.
You should. Yeah. Right. This is as close as I can get right now.
All I want out of this trial was a fair shake. I'm going up there, I'm going to try it, I'm going to let the jury decide.
Is it from Goodfellas?
No, that's Paul Newman from The Verdict, one of the best movies ever.
Right.
You should see it. It's in the 70s. The opening scene is Paul Newman is like an alcoholic, washed up injury lawyer, and like the first scene is he's in the bar, and I think he like breaks an egg into a beer and drinks it for breakfast.
Oh my God.
That's disgusting.
What a man.
He's a man's man, that Paul Newman. Folks, thanks for listening. If you have a question, shoot us over to it. I hope the info helped you. Have a great day.
Take care.
Thanks for listening. I truly hope that the information in the podcast helps you no matter the situation you find yourself in. But you might need more answers or some more direct help. So there are 3 ways for you easily to find out more and to get help. If you call my toll-free 24-hour helpline, 888-HURT-318, you'll have a couple of options. 888-HURT-318 is my toll-free 24-hour telephone line. You can call that number and speak with my team night or day. First, you can call 888-HURT-318, and you can speak to me for a free consultation about your case or situation. That's always free and no obligation. Second, you can tell the operator that you'd like a free copy of my injury DVD and book. I created the DVD and book, and I give it away for free to injured people who need answers but who might not be ready to talk to a lawyer yet. Same deal, 100% free, 100% no obligation. Third and finally, you can check out my YouTube channel for informative videos about the injury case and claims process, or check out my other podcasts for more information and interesting interviews with people who know different things about various aspects of the law. I've put all of this together to help you and to answer your questions. Now, you can also help me, and I hope that you will. If you enjoyed the podcast and if it helped you at all, please subscribe, and if you can, take a minute and please post a positive review of the show. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you know anyone who might enjoy the podcast, please spread the word and share it on Facebook. It's my mission to spread good information to as many people as possible, and your liking and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast helps me get the word out. Thanks again. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It doesn't substitute for consulting with a lawyer. If you have a case, speak with a lawyer right away.